Earlier this year, the banks were insisting that their cash dispensers, or hole-in-the-wall machines, were infallible. But nearly 40% of the most serious complaints that come before the banking ombudsman now concern cash dispensers. And a significant number of these complaints involve people who claim that money has disappeared from their accounts even though they haven't withdrawn it. Jerry Timmins has been investigating whether criminals can steal money from people's bank accounts using cash dispenser machines. Here's his report.
The spectre haunting British banks is that their cash machines may not be secure. A growing number of people are claiming that even though they've never recorded their personal identification number and never mislaid their card, someone was able to take money from their account.
I am living proof that there are phantom withdrawals. I've lost £700 from my bank account, and I see it as this bank's responsibility to reimburse me as quickly as possible.
The banks insist that cash machines only work when the correct card and PIN number are used together. Are you satisfied that the system is truly secure?
I'm totally satisfied it's secure, yes.
But there's growing evidence that the bank's security is not as tight as they claim.
The bankers say that the system is infallible, but then they would, wouldn't they? I don't believe it because I know of over a dozen ways of ripping off the ATM system.
The banks insist that their automated teller machines, or ATMs, are secure. To get money out, you need a cash card and your own personal identification number, or PIN. But Newsnight has found that it is possible to withdraw money from an account without ever possessing the correct card. That discovery has added new credibility to the claims of those who say they've been the victims of phantom withdrawals. Coral Paisley has spent 2 years trying to persuade Barclays Bank that she has been the victim of phantom withdrawals. Between the 8th of April and the 8th of May 1990, 7 £100 withdrawals were made from her account in Muswell Hill, North London. She noticed that something was wrong because £100 was not an amount she normally withdrew, and the money was being taken very late at night, when she was normally in bed.
I quickly telephoned the bank and asked them what was going on, and she said that she had another bank statement ready for me and started to read more £100 withdrawals. So then I really became quite horrified.
Coral Paisley has pursued every avenue of complaint, including the banking ombudsman, who investigates complaints that have reached deadlock with the banks. Today, the positions of both the bank and the ombudsman are the same as when Barclays wrote to her on July the 19th, 1990. Then they said,
"The evidence of the use of your card renders the consequent debits to the account your responsibility. It follows that if you did not use the card, another did so, being able to take, use and replace the card in conjunction with the PIN without your knowledge."
Well, they're almost implying that possibly I can't be trusted, that I might have given my number to someone. Well, I am of sound mind, and I do know that I haven't given my number to anyone. And I know that no one has taken my card or my number, and so my money has gone, and as far as I'm concerned, it was in the hands of the bank, and I felt my money was safe.
Coral Paisley is not alone. Dennis Wally, a solicitor in Liverpool, has received 400 letters from people in a similar position. He now plans a High Court action against the banks on behalf of 250 of his clients, including Coral Paisley.
Very often, these customers think that their problem is unique. They go to the bank manager, who they trust, and he tells them that the system is foolproof and therefore it must be a member of the family. And these customers, in good faith, accept what the bank manager said, and they then go home and systematically question members of their family with catastrophic, devastating effects. The problem here is the system. The system is not, as the banks would have us believe, it's quite capable of corruption by even people with a small amount of technical knowledge.
After a few photographs, move back inside to the branch for a celebratory drink. Thank you all very much indeed.
But the banks are adamant that all is well. Last week, Barclays confidently celebrated the 25th anniversary of their first cash dispenser. They admit that some £3 million were stolen last year from ATMs, but say that was the result of cards and pins being stolen.
It isn't actually a serious problem. Now, I demonstrate that by the fact that there are 3 million cash withdrawals from our cash machines. There are 18,000 machines in this country. Every single day, 3 million cash withdrawals. But at the end of the complaints procedure, we have a banking ombudsman and a building societies ombudsman, and they get about 1 complaint each that they have to act on. So we have fewer than 1 complaint in every million transactions.
You're telling customers that if they keep their PIN number secure and they keep their card secure, their money is safe?
Their money is safe.
We decided to test that claim. Our investigations began with a man currently serving a 3-year sentence for buying goods in shops with forged credit cards. When I visited him in prison, he admitted that he had also manufactured cash machine cards. He said he would talk to the banks on his release. Since the governor would not allow him to record an interview, he asked us to reproduce what he told us with the help of an actor.
I used cards, which I reprogrammed, in ATM machines in England between the end of 1988 and mid-1989. There were lots of transactions. I can't remember the amount. When I needed cash, I used the machines. I didn't keep track of it. It was a lot of money, but I can't remember how much.
This was the method the prisoner used. First, he joined queues of people waiting to use cash dispensers. By looking over their shoulder, he was able occasionally to observe PIN numbers as they were keyed in. He made a note of the time of each transaction and returned later to pick up discarded receipts. Printed on the receipts, he found account details and the time of day, enabling him to match up the PINs to particular accounts. He then wrote the account details onto a genuine cash card, using electronic equipment that was freely available.
Knowing these questions are being asked, and they've been ventilated recently in the media, we asked all our members what their practice was, and indeed whether it was possible to do very much with this information. Now, I haven't seen all the replies yet, but those from the major issuers say you can't actually do this because other defences that I'd rather not talk about have actually been put in place.
So the bank's position is that it isn't possible to make cards using information from receipts.
They're saying it's not possible at the moment, yes.
To check whether or not it's still possible to break into an account using information from a receipt, Newsnight employed David Leeper, who runs an electronics firm. He had a magnetic stripe reader like the one our prisoner used to rewrite bank cards. We asked him and Ross Anderson, a computer expert at Cambridge University, to try an experiment for us.
You've got the full account number there.
That's right.
Oh, well, this should be easy.
We've also got a blank Barclay card here as well.
OK, what's the format on that after the account number?
After the
We've
account
left out
number,
details needed to
The first 4
perpetrate the
digits
fraud.
The first 6 digits are the...
Newsnight gave our 2 experts a Barclay Bank card belonging to an account opened specially for this programme. First, they read the information contained on the card's magnetic strip. On the left-hand side, they found information relating to the account. On the right, they found other information relating to the card's expiry date. They copied all the information from the magnetic strip onto a blank white magnetic card, like those used to open electronic door locks. We then gave them a receipt from a separate Barclays account, which Newsnight had opened at the same time and at the same branch as the first account. It was this account we wanted to break into. Then they transferred some of the details from the receipt onto the white card.
Right. So I'll put the card in now and we'll write it. And that's written it and verified it.
Good.
So...
We made several white cards with the intention of using them to gain access to the account for which we had a receipt, using the correct PIN number, which could have been observed as it was keyed in. This is the card our 2 experts have